All right, here we go. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young, my second show in August. I had another great show last night in August, the Zoomer at Area 58, my Carver location. And tonight I have a lovely young lady. She's a musician, and she's going to perform for us some of the classical music under the tutelage of Miss Nana Grace, who I had on 6 years ago at one of my other great locations in the history of the show. But before we start, I got to read these awesome underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So, I want to thank Auto Country, king of the used car in Abington, #1 in the dealer ratings for Massachusetts for 2021. Best customer service, been with me since the beginning. We got them. We got the Radiologist 101 Barbershop in Brockton. We got Johnny Macaronis Restaurants, 2 in East Bridgewater, and 1 in Halifax. We got Lynch's Towing, Auto, Cycle, and Truck Center in Brockton. 1 number for towing, 1 number for projects. Always looking for new scrap metal vehicles, projects, anything that, that my friend Lynchy can work with. Anything with wheels or whatever like that. We also got Manny's Auto Repair in Taunton. We got Uplifted Nutrition in Taunton. They make delicious and nutritious and hearty shakes and morsels. We got Auto Town Auto Glass installed in Abington. We got John's Greenhouses and Florist Shop in Brockton. We got Sweezy Fence Erectors in Whitman. We got Countertops Express in North Attleboro, and service and replacing and installing quartz and granite. And we got them, and we got Mears here in Champs Boutique in Brockton. We got A1's Tire and Auto Center in Brockton. We're always looking for new tech writers and service people. We got C&J Auto Body, Auto Glass Towing in Stoughton. We got Brockton Tire in Brockton. We got Chapin Sheds in Whitman. We got RW Carpet and Flooring in Norton, covering floors for 50 years. We got Doggie Boutique, all breed professional grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next door neighbor, Debbie Siddell in Brockton. We got Grant's Rental in Bridgewater. We got Easton Fitness right in the Village Shops in Northeastern. And we got Joe's Diner in Taunton. I want to thank you guys very much. Now I'll officially introduce this lovely young lady, Asel Set. Is that Asel Set? Is that how you say it?
Yes.
It's a cool sounding name. It's pretty simple.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
And she's a lovely young lady. She's originally from the country of Kazakhstan.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for having me in this show.
Thank you for being here and being on time.
Yes.
Okay, and we're going to talk to her, and she's going to perform a little Gershwin about halfway through the show. She's a big fan. She loves classical music. She's pursuing a long career. We're going to find out about how she got where she is and where she's going and what it's going to be like in the future. So, Asel, tell me about, you were born in Kazakhstan?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about what life was like there, and when did you leave and come to this country, and all that. And then if I have any questions, I'll roll them in the meantime. So let's build on that, and we'll work from there.
My life in Kazakhstan was pretty nice. I studied in musical school, in music specialized school, and I grew up studying music, working, practicing, and all those kinds of stuff. And yes, so.
How old were you when you left there?
I lived there from my early childhood until I finished my high school.
Okay.
And then after I finished high school, I came to the United States.
Oh, okay. So you came to the U.S. after high school.
Yes.
Okay, which wasn't that long ago.
Yes, it wasn't that long ago.
All right. What was your purpose for coming here to the U.S.? You have to pursue music?
Yes, to pursue music, to go for higher education.
Okay.
Yes.
Aside anything else besides music? I mean, did you do college in the United States in addition to music as well, or just music?
No, just music.
Just music. Okay.
Yes.
And where did you study in the U.S.?
I studied at Rhode Island College.
Rhode Island College.
Yes.
Are you a resident of Rhode Island now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Yeah. I had one on here last week too.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Thanks.
All right. And I guess they have a pretty good music program.
Mm-hmm. They have a really good music program.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, you obviously like classical music. I assume that's your preference. You prefer that over other kinds, or do you like all kinds?
I mean, I like classical music. It's my first place.
Okay.
But I'm open to other kinds of genres because I love all kinds of music.
Okay.
To me, jazz, some pop.
There you go. Oh, good.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now you told me a few minutes ago that eventually you're going to be writing your own music.
Eventually, in the far future, maybe near future.
All right, in the future, obviously,
Yes.
Near or far. We don't worry about when. You know.
Wait,
All right. So, as far as have you ever written anything yourself yet?
No.
You haven't.
Not yet.
Okay. So when I'm just trying to think, are you gonna so you don't actually have any set time to start it. You just think it's going to happen when you're ready.
Yes, whenever.
Whenever the mood really strikes you.
Yes.
And in life, obviously, so far everything you've done has been sort of, it's been sort of like carried on an impulse when the time was right.
Yes.
So you're not worried about when it's going to happen. It just, if it'll happen, and
yes,
that's it. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So tell me about your career in music so far. I mean, do you perform? Do you play in? I know you performed at Carnegie Hall. We're going to talk about that. Yep. So how did you work your way at performing there? How did that go?
At the Carnegie Hall. So once I came to United States, I participated in other competitions. Because back in Kazakhstan, I was also participating in all kinds of national, international competitions.
Okay.
So I really loved that.
Yeah, of course.
Once I came to United States with invitation to study in United States, I went to competitions on my first year.
Okay.
Then I wanted to learn to develop my piano skills.
Okay. Yeah, you played the piano too.
Yes, I played the piano as well.
Yep.
And when I came, because in my experience, I've played with different kinds of accompanists.
Okay.
And as a clarinetist, as a soloist, I realized how important it is to have a good accompanist.
Yes.
And that's what led me to looking for a piano teacher.
Okay.
And I found Nana Grace, who's a wonderful, amazing teacher. And
she is.
Yeah, she's the director of her music, Arai Do Re Mi Music Academy.
Yep.
In Smithfield. And that's where I studied at. And she is also the state director of the Crescendo International Competition.
Okay.
And she offered me to audition for the competition.
Okay. Wow.
And I said yes, sure.
Wow.
And we started practicing hard and preparing for the audition. I got through the first round, second round, and I won the first prize.
Congratulations. What was the first prize? Was that going to Carnegie Hall?
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
Because only first prize winners, they get the chance to perform at the Carnegie Hall.
Yeah, yeah.
And I received a special invitation to Italy as a first prize winner.
You say Italy?
Yes.
Oh, you performed there too?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm going to.
Are you going to?
Yes.
Wow, I'm psyched for you.
I was invited.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so when did you perform at Carnegie Hall?
I performed in February with piano.
This year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And in May with clarinet.
Wow. So you were there twice?
Yes,
okay.
I've been there twice.
And
I was really lucky.
Yeah, that's awesome. When you performed, were you by yourself or were you with an ensemble?
No, as a soloist.
Wow.
Yes.
Incredible.
It was a solo performance.
Yeah, in Carnegie Hall. Wow.
It was amazing.
I'm sure it was.
Yes.
Yeah, I know how excited you were about, telling me about it and everything.
Yes.
Okay. And when it comes to like performing now though, aside from Carnegie Hall, do you have places where you perform regularly? Like, it's a little different when you're classical. I mean, if you were a rock star or something, I'd say, all right, what do you perform? Do you go to what clubs do you perform at? But I don't. So someone who does classical music, I don't think you're going to be performing at any bars or clubs, or do you? All right. Well, tell me where you do perform then.
I perform at the different musicals, so I'm invited to be part of the orchestra for Broadway musicals.
Wow.
So I perform there.
When you say Broadway musical, do you mean on Broadway in New York? Broadway?
No, it's the musicals that were performed on Broadway. And yes.
Okay.
So I do a lot of that. I also, at the Arai Music Academy, I also accompany the students as a clarinet soloist.
Okay.
So I teach them how to accompany a soloist because it's way different. It's a whole different skill that you need to know.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yes, and
Okay, so you're part of teaching too.
Yes, right now I'm still mastering my piano skills.
Okay.
But now I moved up to be able to teach at the academy as well. And I teach piano for beginner level students.
How young are these kids? I assume they're children, right?
They're children for like 4-year-old up to doesn't matter how much.
That's young. I know. That's younger than when I started. I was 6.
Yes.
Wow, that's incredible.
And I also teach the accompaniment.
Wow.
So I teach them how you have to listen to the soloist and follow them and be really nice and precise.
Right, and that sounds awesome. And speaking of that, about halfway through the show, Asel is going to perform something on her clarinet, and we're going to have a background of her playing the piano.
Yes.
That's edited in. So then people watching the show will see and hear how the accompaniment works. Okay. Have you ever played a string instrument? You know, like I don't know about a guitar, but maybe like a mandolin or something like that. I mean, I look at you and I think of Asia, and I think those are the exotic string instruments. The mandolin is a big. I mean, it is in China, I guess, but and I'm wondering if you've ever played anything else besides those instruments that you play.
I haven't played. Yeah, I haven't played the string instruments.
You haven't, okay.
But I play the basic elementary level of all the woodwinds.
Okay, right.
And piano.
Okay, all right, that's cool. All right, so I understand. So you have performed in an orchestra setting?
Yes.
Okay.
I've performed there for a long time, yes.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to like, you have to take in cues from the, I mean, when you do that, you need cues from the conductor, right?
Of course, yeah, you have to be really engaged and paying 100% attention at all times.
Right.
Because something can happen that you need to jump in quickly.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, so it's also a different part of skill that you need to get trained for, like get used to and practice.
And when you performed in the orchestra, how many what was the most you ever performed with at once?
I mean, it varies.
I'm sure it varies, but can you give me an idea of like the most
60
you ever? 16? Okay, yeah, it sounds like a full symphony.
Yeah, it's full symphony.
Yeah, okay.
And I've also performed as a soloist with the orchestra as well.
Okay.
With a professional symphony orchestra.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, and I played twice with them, so it was also incredible experience to be able to be up at the front of the stage to play with the symphony, not only in the symphony.
And what symphony orchestra was this?
It was in Kazakhstan.
Oh, it was in Kazakhstan?
Yes,
okay.
It was in Kazakhstan.
So I guess, you've been going back and forth.
Yeah, I was pretty young, so it was the biggest, like, brightest memory I had.
Of course, yeah.
Like, among other.
Well, obviously, yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, your whole life is music.
Yes,
basically.
It is.
Now, did you go to public high school when you were in the United States?
No, I studied in Kazakhstan.
Oh, you did? You didn't actually come to the United States till after you graduated high school?
Yeah, so I studied in music specialized school. So it was a whole 12 years of only music.
Wow. Well, what about learning to like read and write and all that?
Oh yeah, obviously.
Oh yeah, you learned all that stuff.
We also had like extracurricular.
I mean, you have to learn the basics too.
Yeah, of course, we all had that, but along with that, we also were professionally trained.
Of course.
So we graduated with a music profession.
See, I don't think they have those kind of schools in the United States that specialize just in music,
no,
at least not for 1 through 12.
Yeah, no, they don't.
So, you came obviously from a very cultural background anyway, being that you were from there. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. So, when it comes to like practicing, I assume you do it every day.
Yes.
And you sounded wonderful when I came in here.
Thank you.
You know, so obviously you just can't get enough of it.
I love it. It's something that drives my life.
Of course,
music.
Okay. Have you ever done any recordings, like done a CD? Have you got anything on YouTube?
I have on YouTube recordings of my performances.
Yeah,
There's
okay.
Like orchestra, solo, in Carnegie.
Yep.
But I don't have CDs yet.
You don't? Okay. Yes. All right. Well, eventually you will. Right at some point.
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Right. Okay. So how do you spend your time, like between what would you say the ratio of your time teaching and your time performing is, and your time practicing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you teach regularly the children at your school and stuff. Mm-hmm. Now where is this place that you teach at?
It's in Smithfield, Rhode Island. It's Miss Nana's Music
Academy.
That's
where her school is.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
Okay. It's in Smithfield. Okay.
Yes.
And is it all year round?
Yes, it's all year round.
All year round. So, but you must be pretty busy with that.
Oh yes, very busy. Once I started working as a teacher, I noticed that naturally you spend a little less time on practicing for yourself.
Right.
But it's something that you just need to adjust to.
It's rewarding. So
yes, it's really rewarding.
So what happens now? Have you found anybody since you started that you feel is going to be a prodigy at some point?
Yes.
Okay. You say, and it's kind of like up to you to figure that out. So if you think somebody, I mean, like when I was a kid playing the piano, my teacher encouraged me to practice, and I just couldn't keep it up between being able to try, doing it early in the morning and waking my family up, and I just couldn't commit myself. So you probably have to. Part of your teaching experience must require you encouraging the kids.
Oh yes, of course.
It's not just
it's a big part of it. Yeah.
Because it can easily fall by the wayside if the child feels like if they're being pushed into it and they really don't really want to do it. I mean, you must have to deal with that sometimes, right?
Sometimes, yes, but it's something that you need to try to open up the
dialogue with the kids,
heart to.
Yeah.
And yes, I think because I had professional training since I was little kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well, guess what?
Yeah.
Thanks for seeing Joe's signal. We're halfway through the show, and we're going to hold that thought about your teaching. Right now, I'm going to sit back and relax, and you're going to perform something on your clarinet.
Sure.
A little Gershwin. So without further ado, it's Asel on her clarinet. Just hold that mic. There you go. All right. Sweet. Yep. All right. Okay, that sounded awesome.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, now we'll sit back down and we'll discuss that piece you just played.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that was great, Asel. Okay.
Thank you.
Now, what was the name? That was Gershwin's. What was the name of that lovely melody?
American in Paris.
Okay. Was Gershwin an American composer?
Yes, he's an American composer.
He's an American composer, okay.
Yes, he was popular in 1920s, like beginning of 20th century.
Yeah, about 100 years ago.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
American in Paris. Yeah, it kind of sounded like, see, it's interesting. The reason I asked the title is because with classical music, sometimes you hear a sound and you try to interpret it, and when you hear a title, and then it comes to you, oh yeah, it sounded like some American walking by the Eiffel Tower and and the cheese shops or whatever in Paris and the villages outside in the area. So yeah, I can see that.
So yeah, Gershwin, he's an American composer. He was classically trained as well.
It's a woman.
No.
A guy.
Okay,
I think you said she. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, of course.
Okay.
And
George Gershwin, right?
Yeah, George Gershwin.
Okay.
He was classically trained as well. Okay. But he was also experimenting in jazz as well. He was really popular for his jazz music.
Yeah, that was the 100 years ago. That's when the jazz era was starting to really kick in. Okay.
So this is one of his popular pieces for clarinet.
Yeah, it was awesome. Okay, so tell me about. Now, speaking of that, when you learn about these, do you have to learn more about the history of these composers when you perform their music? Do you want to learn more about them? Because I know I had to do compositions on the composers when I was doing piano lessons, and I didn't want to do it. The teacher finally said, "You don't have to do them anymore if you don't want to do them."
Yeah, no, I think it's something you don't have to, but you should. To know the background of the composer, or at least about the piece itself.
I guess in classical music, it probably makes more sense because it's easy to interpret the music if you know.
Yeah, it's better. It's good. Like, it's better to know the history behind it or when it was written, so it fits in the kind of the time frame, and you understand better the piece.
Exactly. That makes perfect sense. Now I understand why he made me do those compositions.
Yeah.
Do you do that? Do you make the children write compositions too about the composers?
It depends. Sometimes as a fun activity, we try to make it in a playful way.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So
you don't want to make it feel like a punishment. Exactly.
Yeah. So it's something that they feel like excited about, and especially when you do a little group.
Yeah, that's better when it's a group, because kids don't like writing things.
Yes, usually. And then when it's group, they get encouraged and they want to jump out and be like, oh yeah, I know the answer.
Yeah, okay.
So it's we try to do it more engaging and fun way for kids.
Okay, all right. Now you know what you're doing. You obviously have a. When you went to school, did you get any degrees in like child psychology as well?
I have a degree in teaching kids.
You do?
As I graduated from my high school because it was the
in Kazakhstan.
Yes.
Really? That's amazing.
Yeah, we had to do a training for 2 years.
Wow.
And we received an additional diploma for that.
That's incredible.
So I graduated from high school as a teacher already.
Wow, I don't know anyone that did that here in this country.
It's different.
It is different. I'm glad I asked. I love these cultural differences that we learn. Because I've had people from all over the world on as guests, and I think you're the first one from Kazakhstan, though.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Oh yeah. Like I said, what an honor. All right. Well, now going forward, so what does your schedule look like over the summer now, as for the remainder of the summer? Do you do any outdoor performances too?
Right now, I don't have anything planned.
Okay.
But I'm teaching a lot right now.
Doing more teaching.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of teaching right now.
Okay.
So that's very exciting.
Of course it is.
Yes.
Now, well, as long as you're on the subject of teaching, would you ever consider bringing the kids together as an ensemble?
Oh, yes.
Have you ever done that?
Yes, that would be lovely. We've done ensembles. I teach them. We had like a summer campaign.
Oh, okay.
Camp, I mean.
Okay.
Summer camp, and we did a lot of ensemble.
What, in Smithfield?
Yeah, in Smithfield.
Okay.
So I taught them. They played different instruments.
Okay.
And we did a little orchestra and a little ensemble pieces together.
That's awesome.
So it was very different for them to learn.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yes.
Obviously, I think teaching is your thing, and for now, anyway.
Yes, and performing, of course.
Right.
Yes.
Now, aside from Carnegie Hall, and you performed in Italy too, right?
I am going to.
You're going to.
Yes.
What part of Italy?
It's going to be 5 different cities. It's Milan.
I figured Milan was involved. I was going to ask.
It'll be the 5 major cities in Italy.
Wow.
So
are you going to be doing a solo or with a
solo?
Solo. Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing. And anywhere else besides there?
There'll be other winners of the competition.
Okay. So this is still part of the competition.
Yes, part of the competition, because we'll be representing United States in Italy.
Wow.
Yes.
Against other people in other countries.
Yes.
Jeez, I wouldn't mind going to that, but I'm gonna be doing my show.
Yeah.
Wow, that's swell. Oh, okay. Have you performed in Boston at all, or any of the other major venues? I mean, Carnegie Hall is pretty much the cream of the crop in the United States.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering where. I mean, other than that, are you planning on performing? I mean, going all over the world and performing more eventually?
Yes.
Okay.
I do, and I have performed in Rockport,
Illinois. Rockport?
Rockport.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's north of Boston.
Yes.
Yep.
So it was a very beautiful venue.
It is.
It's very famous.
Outside, right?
It was inside.
Oh,
it
inside.
was like
okay, but I know Rockport's on the ocean.
Yeah, it was the music hall that has a view to the ocean.
Oh, that's
so it was very beautiful, and it was also for competition as well.
Okay.
That's where I also got first prize.
Sweet.
Because I love competition, like going to competitions and experiencing.
Okay.
Yes. I also I performed at the North Carolina.
I was born there. I was born there.
Oh, really? Winston-Salem.
Okay, I was born in Fayetteville, which isn't too far away. Wow.
Yes.
Cool.
I performed there for competition as well, and that's where I met the most famous clarinetist, Charles Nadick.
Okay, I've heard of him.
Yes,
wow.
And I had a master class with him. I was starring in his master class.
Okay.
And I also won a winner prize at the competition. I also had private lessons with Charles Nadick, which I was really thankful and blessed.
Okay.
It was
That's awesome. How long ago was this?
It was about a couple years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, when I first arrived to the United States for my college, because back in Kazakhstan, I participated in international competition.
Yep.
And one of the countries was United States that offered me to study in the United States.
Okay, and that's how you ended up here.
That's how I ended up here.
That's perfect choice.
And I was really excited about it because I couldn't even imagine it. But then at the same time, I was a little upset because it was costly and I couldn't afford it. Then I heard news from the chair of the Department of Rhode Island College, Ian Greatser, who is also my clarinet teacher.
Cool.
And he informed me that Rhode Island College is ready to sponsor me for my higher education.
Sweet.
So they offered me a full 4-year special talent scholarship that's only given to one student in 4 years.
Wow.
So I was really, really blessed and just fortunate to receive such a big scholarship. And later on, after on my third year, I also received another fellowship scholarship.
Okay.
For my accomplishments and good academic standing.
So, well, you obviously earned that.
Yes,
wow.
Of course. I worked really hard since I was a little child. Yeah. So, but I'm very, very thankful and blessed to have such opportunities and given to me.
Yeah, it sounds to me like, I mean, you meet all the right people, and it's working out. Just it's clicking for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, how did you learn when you growing up in Kazakhstan? Did you learn English there?
No, I did not speak English.
You didn't speak
back in Kazakhstan.
Now, when did you learn English?
I learned here.
Yeah.
Yes.
You just picked it up.
Yes, I picked it up pretty fast.
Okay.
As my teachers and my friends say.
You're a fast learner for sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no question.
Thank you.
Well, guess what, Asel? We're down to the final 5 minutes of the show.
Oh, wow.
I know.
That was pretty fast. I didn't even...
Well, we always have fun on top of time, and
yeah.
you know how it is when you're having fun. It makes it go by fast. So what I want you to do is look at the camera there, that little white baby there with the golden dome, and give shouts out to people that are going to see the show, including Miss Nana and a few other people. Just condense them, and then we'll wrap the show up with my music the way we began it.
Nice. Sounds
go
good.
ahead.
I'm very honored to be on this topic time with Mr. Harrison Black-Young.
I'm so honored that you were on my show.
Yes, thank you so much.
Incredible.
I'm very thankful for all the people that I've met so far in my life, in my music career. And first thanks is to my piano teacher, Nana Grace, for giving me all the knowledge throughout these years, throughout this time, and for supporting me, encouraging me.
Thank you for bringing her here too, Nana Grace.
And for supporting me all the time and just giving me the right advices. Big thanks to my clarinet teacher from Rhode Island College, Ian Greatser, who also supported me and gave me and offered me to study in Rhode Island College for scholarship, and always supporting me and training me for also so many years. And I'm really, really thankful for all the people that have been in my life up to this point and still are. And yes, I'm really looking forward to teaching at ROI Dorami Music Academy and bringing up the young stars in the United States and raising them and making them into good, great musicians. That was
very, very well spoken, Asel. That's awesome. And you did such a great job with me too. I'm so happy that you did my show.
Thank you.
And if you had a good time, what I'd like you to do also is if you know anybody that's musically inclined or anybody with even just an interesting story to tell, send them my way. You got my number now.
Sounds
we'll get them
good.
on as guests. Now, before we wrap the show up, is there anything coming up that you want to mention that you might have overlooked that you're going to be doing? If not, that's fine, but I just want to make sure that you covered everything.
I've covered everything.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right.
But I will let you know.
Of course you will. All right.
Yes.
All right, Asel, well, you did a great job. So are you ready to wrap the show up the way we began it with my music?
Of course.
Okay, folks, thanks for watching another great episode of Topic Time. See you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.